We're here at round 3 of the Monster Energy Pro Downhill Series. Welcome to the Continental Trackwalk. We're here at Snow Summit in Big Bear, California. This mountain is steeped in mountain bike history. It's a really iconic event. We couldn't be more excited to host round 3 here. So let's take a cruise down Trackwalk. We'll catch up with some of the locals, some out-of-towners, and some complete first-timers and get their thoughts on this track here at Big Bear.
It's pretty crazy. It's really dusty and there's a lot of off-camber sections, but I'm excited.
You know, there's a lot of loose, steep bits, so looking forward to that. Not exactly looking forward to the amount of dust that's going to be in my nostrils after being trackside all weekend. But a lot of good sketchy bits, some weird corners up there that some people are going to have to navigate, so it'll be cool to see how people do that, and definitely the whoops, you know, super slow-mo on the whoops.
There's a pretty good off-camber up there I have an eye up that I think will have some people getting questionable in there.
I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty smooth right now, and it's definitely going to get blown out. So I think we're just going to have to see how it turns out after a bit. I think it's going to be like lean back and just like let it slide, though. It's going to get deep.
I think they're like it. I think they're surprised with the dust, but I think they're going to be even more surprised once the track starts bedding in. I think the track is awesome. I think it's got some tricky bits, some stuff that makes you think a little bit, and tight chutes and things like that. We're here at like a pretty technical section as well, so the rocks out here are always brutal, and as this track develops, I think a lot of rocks are going to come out as well. So I think one of the big things that they're actually not going to be used to is not being able to ride with each other, because when it's this dusty and you try to follow someone, you just can't see. And so a lot of them are going to be like on their own a little bit more than they're used to. So that could create some challenges. But overall, I think it's going to be a great experience for all of them.
I'm pretty excited to, get tires on it because, the conditions are looking pretty dry. Looks like the track's going to cut in, weirdly, at least for me, because I've never been out here, and it looks like it breaks apart more than beds in. So it's going to be interesting to learn a new track, and hopefully you can put down a good result this weekend.
A lot of dust and rocks, but the track looks awesome. Like it's been definitely like built up in the last few days and weeks, so it's looking pretty fresh and fun. It'll be real gnarly, but I think it'll be a heap of fun.
And then it's a pretty generic rock garden up there, but there's 4+ lines in it that actually all are pretty bad, which makes them all pretty good. So I think that's exciting. I'm interested to see what the big dogs do and kind of how it sets up tomorrow morning and how it rides.
Hey everybody, the captain here midway through the track walk here. The Continental track walk going on. We got a lot of the racers checking out all the different lines and kind of curious to see what they're going to be doing as I talk about this later with Lars. Jill, Dante, they're both here taking the track walk. They're interesting in their different takes on what to do. Some people are like, I gotta go around this. Dante, I'll double that. So it's gonna be a really wild time as the Continental track walk continues on, and we'll see what lines these racers are gonna choose for the 3rd stop of the Monster Energy Pro Downhill Series here at Snow Summit Big Bear this weekend.
We're just trying to figure out the line choice here in this section because we don't have a lot of options, but they're all kind of icky. So I'm trying to figure out what to do here. Inside, you're just gonna get teed up really hard into the corner. Middle, you kind of have to start doing this gap just to make it work, and then there's no outside, so everyone's pretty puzzled here, and we've been standing here for like 10 minutes.
What I'm thinking here is that this little lip here is probably going to hook left a little bit harder than you'd think coming into this, so I think line choice here is going to be really important. Like Dante said, we're almost kind of scanning from this little ledge over, looking from inside more to middle. And then figuring out that transition there and how high you got to land up there is going to be real important. It's pretty cool that they put in a new section here through the trees. Something different. People that are local here and ride a lot, it'll be a change and kind of make things even. So we'll have to puzzle a little bit for the locals and just kind of learn the track.
I mean, racing enduro full time now, I come to a downhill race and I have so much time to look at stuff. I start pondering too much and getting too creative, but I think it's fun. And a track like this where we've raced it once and it's had 5 years of abuse, it's pretty cool they added a bit of fresh sections. So even the people who are pretty comfortable here have to stop and look at things. So I think all in all, it's a pretty good track and should probably produce some good racing.
It's a lot different. I'm used to racing at Windrock or up north, like Killington area. So it's so different, way less, like there's no roots here. I mean, there is, but not the same. It's all just rocks and like dust.
It's looking pretty good out here. I love the wide variety of lines. Closer to a World Cup, finally racing Cali. It's been too long. All the East Coast boys are gonna struggle with the elevation.
All right, here at the bottom of the course here at Big Bear Rider, man, it's good to catch up with you.
Good to see you.
Home turf, man. So
yeah,
you got what do you think? How do you think of the course? How you feeling?
Course is honestly really good. Like, I'd say this is a pretty blown out track, and they made it work really well for this race.
So you got all your homies coming? I mean, you're only like under 2 hours away from home. You got all your friends coming to cheer you on?
Yeah,
make
all
some
my
moves
riding
for you?
buddies are all here. Like, turned out to be a pretty big race.
And as far as the bottom of the course goes, you know, a lot of the track you're probably used to. This is your hometown mountain. You're used to the trails, but you were talking about really different lines and stuff, how they're forming real differently, getting blown out. But a lot of new stuff at the bottom.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I'm digging the whoops. Like, they actually work really well, like exactly how you think whoops should work. And yeah, it's pretty sick.
Corners holding up well. Do you think they're going to be blown out by the end of the weekend as well?
I think they'll be a little bit blown out, but as of right now, like, I thought they'd be a little bit worse, but they're holding up pretty well.
How about from an energy standpoint? I mean, you talked about the course. A lot of the lines are getting blown out. And then, you know, you come out of the woods here right up there at the bottom, and it's almost like you get that like sigh of relief, like, all right, I'm at the bottom, but there's still a lot going on. You got a big flat off-camber, or not really off-camber, but a gravelly corner, and then some jumps and turns and whoops. You think this section, you think you're going to see a lot of people making mistakes down here and losing time?
Honestly, I think it'll be pretty tight down at the bottom. I don't think there'll be too much of a difference.
All right.
Everyone will be doing the same thing, I think.
Well, it was really cool seeing the course walk and seeing how this track is evolving, and looking forward to seeing more kick-ass riding this weekend.
Yep.
All right, good stuff, man.
Good to
Good
see ya.
catching up.